Good evening and welcome to our annual awards ceremony for the Rocky Mountain Porsche Club. I'm Vicki Cox-Jones, in case you don't know me, and I am the region president. Usually we have this event in January at one of our sponsors, and of course, due to COVID restrictions and everything, we are not able to do that. So we decided to have it tonight on Zoom. So we'll start out with a brief introduction of the 2021 RMR board members. And following that, we'll discuss our breakout year. And we're calling this a breakout year because we're trying to break out of COVID and out of 2020. Our tour team has put together an ambitious set of tours for you. And Second Vice President Russ Reidberg will talk about those very soon. We are also returning to the track in Autocross this year in full force. And what I mean by that is we will have instruction for our novice drivers this year, whether it's in-car instruction or lead follow. And First Vice President Scott Henderson will discuss that. And then more to come. We are hoping to be able to open up more events as the pandemic relaxes and as vaccines are coming in and helping us open things up. So we're very optimistic that maybe by the end of summer we can have some socials again. Maybe we'll even have our RMR picnic. That's what I'd really like to have. Plus, we might actually be able to add a few more tours as we see fit if things progress properly. And then we will proceed on to the most important part of this ceremony, and that's the awards. Chief Driving Instructor Dan Carlson will present the driving awards for 2020. And then Russ Reidberg will present the Enthusiast of the Year award. And we also have a special recognition announcement planned and following up with a question and answer session. So with that said, let's proceed on to the next slide, please. Russ, it's your turn. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's mine, sorry. I forgot I need to present the board. So Vice President is Scott Henderson. Scott this is his third year on the board, or second year. We kind of got all messed up there with some people leaving and coming in, but Scott has returned to be our first vice president. He is in charge of the DE and autocross programs. Russ Reidberg is the second vice president. He is kind of in charge of the tours and socials and broadly over the newsletter and website. Our treasurer is Tom Radow. He's come to us very well prepared with his experience as a CPA and used to work with the IRS. Our secretary, and this is the newest member of our board, is Eric Elliff. Eric came to us just this year, and we hope we don't scare him away with our antics. Holly Jackson is our membership chair. Holly's been with us for several years now, and she does a fantastic job with membership. She works on tours, she works on socials. We really are happy to have her. Our newsletter editor is Tom Champion. Tom is very good at getting the newsletter together and editing and getting it out for us to enjoy. And past president Jim Thorburn, of course, has been with us for quite a while, and he is staying as past president. He advises me and the rest of the board to keep us in line, maybe I should say. All right, so now we will turn it over to Russ.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Russ Reidberg. I'm your second vice president. I've been on the board for a little over 5 years now. I served as newsletter editor as well as secretary before moving up to this position. And I'm really excited to fill you in on what we've put in place this year for tours after having been stifled a bit last year due to COVID. Obviously, everything that we are trying to plan right now is going to be hinging on what kind of restrictions we might still be facing. But with all the vaccines that are coming in, we're really hopeful that we'll be able to have larger gatherings and be able to, finish our tours in restaurants with large groups. So with that being said, we've got 6 really nice tours set up this year. Starting on May 30th, we're going to head down to Edelweiss. That's one of our mainstays that we try to pull off every year. It's kind of an opening and an ending for us, as you'll see as we go through this list. So on May 30th, we're going to be leaving from Golden, heading down south into Sedalia, and then down Highway 105 through Perry Park into Monument, and then ending in Colorado Springs at the Edelweiss German restaurant. Then coming in June, we've got the Peak to Peak tour. This is going to take us up Highway 72, which is the Peak to Peak highway, through Nederland and Ward, and then we'll connect up with Highway 7, and the tour will continue through Allens Park, past St. Catherine's Chapel on the Rock, and then dropping into Estes Park. Our first overnight tour is going to be in July 15th and 16th, and that's the Saratoga Resort and Snowy Range tour. This is going to be leaving from Fort Collins and heading into Walden and then into Wyoming to stay at the Saratoga Hot Springs Resort. And then the following day, we'll take you through the Medicine Bow Range before returning back into Colorado. Our big tour for the year is the RMR Yellowstone Grand Loop Tour. This is a 7-day tour that's taking us into Cody, Wyoming for 2 nights. And while there will be extra activities and extra touring to happen. And then from there, it's on to Jackson Lake for 2 nights and a tour of Yellowstone and the Grand Teton National Park. Then from there, it's on to Park City, Utah, Grand Junction and Palisade, Colorado, and then finally coming back down into Georgetown. On September 4th, this is one of our annual mainstays. It's the Triple Bypass Tour. This takes us down Highway 285, and we go over Kenosha, Red Hill, and then finally Hoosier Pass. And that drops us into Breckenridge, and we're hoping to have a good lunch there when we're done. And then we'll end the season on October 9th with the Edelweiss Tour. Again, that's our start and our finish. This time it'll be starting from the Perfect Landing restaurant in Centennial. Same thing, heading down through Sedalia, through Perry Park, and on into Colorado Springs for lunch at the Edelweiss. So that's what we have on tap so far. We are hoping that we might be able to add 1 or more tours, and that would be pretty dependent on some volunteers stepping forward to help us man these tours. So there you go.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, hello everybody. If we have one word that we're looking forward to being the buzzword for this 2021 season, it's optimism. We're seeing a lot of improvement in terms of numbers, in terms of the COVID outbreak, vaccinations going into arms. For that reason, we're pretty optimistic that we're going to be able to put on these events this year, unlike 2020. As you can see, the tours have a great selection of events, and we encourage you to attend them. Once again, they do require lots of volunteers, and that doesn't mean you have to be a tour event chair. There are lots of other positions that are helpful for all of our programs. So please be in touch with Russ if you'd like to contribute with the tours. As to the performance driving portion of the RMR Club, we have need for volunteers too. And these events out at High Plains Raceway for the DEs, or the high performance driving events, require quite a number of volunteers to put them on successfully for our entrants. And so there are opportunities to volunteer in grid, equipment, control, and various other activities, safety, in order to put on these programs. They are led with our lead CDI, Dan Carlson, that we'll hear from here in a few moments, and a CDI committee composed of 9 people that are very well experienced in running these DE programs. So you'll find them extremely well thought out, with a well-oiled machine of what it takes to make these high-performance driving events, number 1, safe, number 2, informative, and number 3, an opportunity to develop your skills in these fantastic cars. To kick off the season, we start with DE 101. DE 101 is Brian Leary's brainchild, and he has put together this program now for the last 3 years that has just been spectacularly received. We ordinarily have it at 3R Racing, but just as with our award ceremony that usually takes place at 3R Racing in January, that darn virus has interfered with our usual plans. So we're doing it this year by Zoom performance. It happens 10 days from now on March 27th. So register on the rmr.pca.org website in order to participate in the DE 101. DE 101 is designed for those of us who've never been to the track before or never been to an autocross before. So it takes all the nuts and bolts from soup to nuts and tells you exactly what you need to do from beginning to end to make this a really fun event for you. Everything will be covered, from how you sign up, how you prepare your car, what things you need to have as equipment when you go to either a DE or to an autocross, and answer hopefully almost all the questions that you might have. So DE 101, March 27 from 10 until noon via Zoom. Sign up on the website. Now, as we start talking more about the High Performance Driving Education Program, HPDE, or for shorthand DE, the essence of it is instruction, how we all become better drivers of these fabulous sports cars. And in order to do that, we have an instruction program led again by Dan Carlson and our CDI committee that will match instructors with students who have not been on the track before. So there are 4 different run groups that we generally run, and the novice group is known as the Green Run Group. And we do a well thought out program that begins in the classroom out at High Plains Raceway, includes a class before you get out on the track, and then your first run session, and then another class, and then another run session, and after lunch, yet another class. So the preparation is extensive and it's good. This year, because of our change as a result of the virus, we have devised and are implementing 2 different ways of instruction to occur. Our usual and preferred method is in-car instruction, whereupon the instructor's in the right seat and you, the driver, is in the left seat, and the instructor coaches you around the track, helps you position the car, helps you learn where all of the landmarks are and where all the safety runoff areas are, should you need that, and then gives you a debrief afterwards. Well, in addition to that, because of the precautions that we've had to take, we've now developed a lead follow program. And the lead follow program involves a lead instructor with a one-way radio that will communicate to the student on their FM radio, who follows behind them at about 3 to 5 car lengths. And the instructor will talk the student all the way around the track, again describing where to place the car, describing where the landmarks are, and how to safely and efficiently enter turns, traverse turns, and exit them for the most efficient way around the track. So lead follow instruction is a method by which we can still provide instruction this year that we weren't able to last year, but we're happy to tell you with the way the numbers are looking, with what CDC is telling us and what our local health departments are telling us, that we will likely offer a blend of lead follow and in-car instruction commencing with the first DE on May 1 and May 2 at High Plains Raceway. This will allow you then to select lead follow if you prefer that, or select in-car instruction if you prefer that. With more vaccines in places and with waivers having been signed, body temperature checks as you get to registration, and both student and instructor will wear masks. And if you have a helmet with a face shield, you'll travel with a helmet, mask, the visor down. And then all the debrief and pre-brief will be done outside the car, maintaining 6 feet of distancing. So that's what we have in store for the DE program for this year. In Autocross, we also have 4 events scheduled at Colorado Air and Spaceport. Colorado Air and Spaceport hasn't had any spacecraft yet, but they do like that name, so they've changed it a couple of years. We've known the place as Front Range Airport, out by DIA. And now Chris Sully will be running the first Autocross University on April 24th, Saturday the 24th, with a full Autocross on Sunday the 25th. So Autocross University and Autocross is a great way to get into high performance driving. It's said that if a good autocrosser can also be a very good track driver, it's not necessarily the reverse. I'm here to tell you. A good track driver doesn't necessarily make you a good autocross driver. Those are very interesting skills. The gates come at you very rapidly. You need to be 2 gates ahead, but it will teach you car control that is superb for everyday driving, as well as translating to the racetrack as well. So on our next slide, we have, or this slide, I should say, we have our schedule of events, and you'll see 4 autocross. Actually, looks like we have 5 autocross. No, 4 autocrosses, because one of them, the first, is a 2-day. And then you'll see down below that our DE program, and we run 5 DEs during the season. Of particular note, Ladies' Day. Ladies' Day occurs on August 7th at Colorado State Patrol Track, CSP track in Golden, and it is followed on Sunday by the Novice DE. Ladies' Day is a very special event to RMR. In 2019, we had more ladies at the track for that event than any exclusively a Ladies' Day event in the entire world. It was written up by Panorama Magazine, and we have had that annually, oh gosh, since the 1990s, as I recall. So Ladies' Day and Novice Day, August 7th and 8th, there's something to really look forward to. And I can tell you that all of our instructors really look forward to Ladies' Day. It's our favorite event to get out there. That is the day that we are there to serve. So we have then a total of 5 DEs going on this summer. We hope to see you out there. We're taking the precautions that are necessary to ensure your safety. As the numbers change, hopefully only in the good direction, we'll be able to relax some of our precautions even more. But we've got everything in place with plenty of hand sanitizer, plenty of masks, plenty of opportunity for social distancing, and safety has been extremely well thought out. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Dan Carlson, our lead chief driving instructor, who's got some awards for us tonight. Thank you.
Oh, Scott, that was wonderful. Thank you. I'm excited already. That was fantastic. And, you know, don't downplay autocross. You may have heard of Randy Popst, Mr. Road, or was it Motor Trend?
Motor Trend.
Motor Trend magazine. He was national autocross champion 3 years, and that's how he got his start. And that's a good way to go. And then to come out to our Ladies' Day and Novice Day weekend. if you're a little cautious and don't want to dive in aggressively out to High Plains Raceway. Well, hi everybody. We're sitting here. All of us who are involved with the awards tonight have had our vaccines, so that's why we're sitting here and trying to keep our distance. But it's an absolute honor to be able to present some awards tonight to our what we think are our best drivers in the club. We had a conversation with the board. The CDI team had a conversation, and we said after this last year where everything was shortened, we're not going to give any awards unless they were earned. It's just the way it is. We had to keep the standards high and so on. But lo and behold, 2 people came up and we raised the bar, as we say, and we're absolutely honored to award them tonight. For those of you that aren't involved in the performance driving program, this is a really big deal for us, really big. And if you're a most improved driver, that's really big. It's a start of things to go forward. Same with the distinguished driver. It's huge. And so just know how important that is to us. The most improved driver, people before us, it's led to other things and big things. Debbie Kiesling, she was most improved driver. She tried to drive with her husband to 3R Racing to get her award for 2 hours in a snowstorm, didn't get there, but she was our most improved driver, and she's gone on to driving her GT4 to becoming one of our most requested female instructors. She's getting into racing. She does off-roading, and they have a wonderful dog named Jackson. But Debbie's a prime example of that. And another one is Karen Clayton. She was a most improved driver. And everything she transitioned from her current role as a ski instructor at Copper Mountain, but she's become an incredible driver. She's one of our instructor candidates this year, and she's doing racing around the country. She just applied for her PCA club racing license, and that's been approved. She's doing World Racing League with her husband Wilson, and also with the Robins. So there's another example. Oh, and lo and behold, our club president, Vicki Cox Jones, was a most improved driver. She went on to become an instructor, and now look at our club president. That's pretty darn neat. So for our next most improved driver, you have some big shoes to fill, and we're excited about you doing that. So our most improved driver for this year, he has a yellow 2004 GT3, Matthew Taylor. Matthew, come on down.
Hey, thank you, sir. Hi, everyone.
Are we excited for you?
Wow, that was a big intro. I'm scared now.
Here's your plaque.
Thank you.
That all most improved drivers get, and
Thank you.
wear that well.
Yes, wow. What a amazing set of people that have done this before.
You have just been spectacular and a real example for others. And you and Jennifer come out as a couple to the track, and you're involved together. She loves to drive. Unfortunately, she's had to take the year off because we didn't have a novice program, but she's out there. I know you want to lead events, and it's people like you that are the future of our club.
Well, we've loved it. I've loved it. It's really been amazing going through the process. I will say that I thought I was a good driver till 3 years ago when I started getting into this. Then I realized I wasn't. Racing motorcycles, did lots of car work, lots of bike work, lots of skiing forever. And oh my gosh, you think that you can go out and just hit the track and it'll be great. I spent weekends out there at the track just driving around going, what turn am I on? But that's 8. Oh no, it's crazy. And thank God for all the amazing instructors. And I can't say enough. And everybody you listed, I've been involved with, or they've been an instructor for me or my wife. It's such a great group. And the way that you grow through it, I've felt so privileged. I really have. And it's been an absolute blast. And this last year with COVID was tough, absolutely. But actually it was kind of fun for me. I got to have the car dialed in, had some great training. Dave Stribley had taken me out and showed me some things the year before that I got to work on all year. And it really was fun. So I'm very privileged to be in this position and very humbled. So looking forward to what's next and how I can help anyone else in any way and continue to grow, because I got so much to do.
Well, and to see you progress this year was something. And for you to latch on to a guy like Dave Stripling, I get in the car with Dave. We talked about it at dinner tonight. I'm a second or two faster after riding with him. And he helped you with a lot of things. Car setup, throttle steering, so on.
Dave's helped me with so much. The throttle steering was amazing. I mean, just sitting in the car and I'm sitting there strapped in. I've never been strapped in before sitting with him. And just feeling the car and feeling how he's driving and watching his foot, the way he's controlling things with his foot, just on the throttle side, let alone the brake. It was amazing to me, and a year's worth of work that I then needed to do, right? It was really fun, and that was great to learn a lot from him. And even beyond that, I'd say car setup, but also all my friends, all the people that you've talked about, you know, whole group of Jeff and Stacy and whole group that are out there. That have helped support. And suddenly when I run into problems, and I ran into problems one point this year, and it was a huge progression for me. My tires were gone, my brakes were gone, and the group, as I ran around, helped support that. Gave me tires, gave me brakes, helped me change those things, and suddenly the whole car changed. And it wasn't done on purpose, it was sort of a forced upgrade, but oh my goodness, it was an amazing change to feel the car shift. Could I have done that the first weekend? Heck no. And so I know there's a whole lot more for me to learn over time. It was really fun.
Well, you mentioned a few things, but driving a car, it's kind of like skiing. You have to take what the mountain gives you on a slope, and same with on the track. Every day is different. It's a learning thing, and just like golf. And it's fun to see people like you grab a hold of it and experience it, feel the joy of doing it. And we're just excited for you, and it's a well-deserved honor, and we're extremely proud of you. And we expect a lot from you coming forward.
Thank you. And to be clear, and my wife, because without it, I couldn't do any of this. So thank you so much for everything. And I've loved being able to do this with my wife. It's been something, it's been awesome for us to get away on the weekend. So it's not just the amazing fun of the people and the cars, but also the closest we've been able to drive through it. So it's really a neat thing in so many ways.
And
thank you all.
And they're campers, and they stay overnight, and we have a lot of fun out there.
Yes, so we do. It's great.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Way to go. Really well deserved.
Wow. The Distinguished Driver Award. And let me be clear, it's the Anita Memorial Distinguished Driver Award. And this goes to the driver who exhibits excellence with on-track, high-performance driving and instruction. Here's the traveling trophy. At least it's been traveling up to this point. I don't think it's going to leave my garage or my favorite room. But look at the names on here. Cecil Morris. Dave Stribling 2 years ago. Doug Bartlett, a story there. Doug, we had our CDI planning meeting on a Tuesday, and I said, Doug, you're coming out to 3 Art for the award ceremony? Oh, I got something going on. I suggest you be there, Doug. You're our distinguished driver. I'll cancel everything. So Doug made it for that. When Dave Stribling was awarded this, the entire family came. It was such a big deal. And last year, when I was fortunate enough to get this award, it made me feel so good that the entire Stribling family was there to hand it off to me. That was pretty neat. Chris Cervelli. I would go to his shop, get the car done, and I saw this thing on his wall, and I said, wow, I'll never be anything like that, let alone a most improved driver. But Chris Cervelli, you're there, and so on. Gosh, Cecil Morris. the lead CDI before me. Cecil, you're just amazing at how you do your things, and what an honor to follow you on this list. Gosh, the list goes on. Hap Henderson, Dan Mayer, my gosh, he's mentored me through everything, just getting this car ready to go. I can't thank Dan enough. He's my best friend here, and I just can't thank you enough, Dan. So the list goes on and on. Joe Bank, Dale Hartzell, so on. So anyway, this is a big deal for us. Sorry if I'm getting a little carried away. But this year's winner is very deserving. He's everywhere at our track events. He's leading the DEs as a CDI. He does instruction. He's the brainchild of DE Autocross 101. Has been the Rocky Mountain Region's PCA Club Racing Chair for a number of years. He's a sought-after racer. He just got back from Barber 2 weeks ago and raced in WRL, and he has 3 other track sessions planned for the year. And he was our club's Enthusiast of the Year in 2018. I think you all know who I'm talking about. Brian Learjet Jet Leary.
Yeah. All right, Brian.
Thank you, Dan. You forgot to add your name to that list because you're one of he's last year's distinguished drivers.
How did that happen?
Yeah, how did that happen? Because we had it all set up to give it to Brian, and then you guys all got in the way of that.
Well, it was worth every minute of trying to distract you, but you were more than deserving for that award last year.
That was nice. Well, I think partially we got that. You gave it to me because of our being awarded the first ever Pirelli DE program for the entire country out of 145 regions.
And it was all your work.
No, it was way beyond me. Our CDI team is one heck of a team, and I go to war with any of them, whether it be at a corporate boardroom or whatever. My gosh, we can do it all. So
Yep.
what a great team.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for this. I'm honored, absolutely honored to get this, and I appreciate it.
So you're going to get a photo of this, and
photo works well. I don't think I have any wall space, so I'll just stick it up on my computer in the corner. That'd be nice.
But it's, we all talk about it's the people at the club, but I wouldn't have known all these people without being part of the club and spending evenings with them out at the track or planning other things or just socials and so on, and it really is about the people, and the driving sometimes is just secondary. So
absolutely,
it's a thrill to host you all over here at the house to honor you. We couldn't do it with a lot of hoopla, but it meant a lot to Scott and me that we did something special for you two tonight.
Thank you.
And we're just thrilled and for that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Russ.
Okay, thanks, Dan. So I am privileged to be presenting the Enthusiast of the Year from the club. And I'm really happy to be doing this. So Webster's defines the word enthusiast as one who is ardently absorbed in a cause, object, or pursuit. In my mind, this is a perfect description of the person receiving this award tonight, except I had to stop and look up the word ardently to make sure I knew what the hell I was talking about. Anyway, this person works behind the curtains for our club. They put in endless hours using their extensive talent to keep the club up to date and informed. The club member I'm referring to is Bill Simon. Bill, along with Tom Champion, designs and lays out the club's award-winning monthly magazine, High Gear. Bill's skill level at digital publishing is second to none. And this was made apparent when in 2019, RMR took second place in the National Newsletter Contest in Class 6. Oh, all right. So he's second to one, but that's what it is. Bill also placed first in the contest to design the PCA National Autocross logo. In addition to the immense amount of work he puts in for RMR, Bill also helps several other regions with their publications. Congratulations, Bill. You truly deserve this award.
Yay, Bill. Yay.
All right, now the last recognition is really more of a thank you for all you have done for us on the board. The recipient of this special gift has been a tremendous help to me on my path to the presidency, and I know he's helped all of the other board members just as much. The past year was definitely difficult definitely a difficult one for everybody. And when we entered the shutdown, we really had no idea how long it was going to last or how it was going to affect RMR. However, my predecessor, Jim Thorburn, calmly steered us in the right direction. Through Jim's leadership, RMR ended the year in a great position to face the future. The board would like to present you with this lovely rendering of your 1987 911 Targa created by Russ Reidberg as a thank you for all your help and guidance. Of course, this doesn't mean you have to stop coming to any more meetings, Jim, so you do have to do that.
Hey, thank you so much. I am so touched by this. Russ, I was wondering why you asked me for the picture of my Targa. Now I know that is gorgeous. You know how much I've always loved your artwork, and that is just I will cherish it. And again, thank you so much. It's been you know, it takes a team on this. This board was always fantastic, and I was always proud to be able to be at the helm of this board. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thanks
You're
for your
welcome,
leadership, Jim.
Thank
Thank
you. So now I guess we'll open it up to questions. Brian, you are the keeper of the questions.
Russ, did we end up with any questions before the meeting?
Yes, we actually had one question come in. Give me 1 second here. We had one question come in asking about volunteering and what is the best way to volunteer my time to RMR. This came from Tom, and he wanted to know, is there a volunteer coordinator or a board member who understands the region's needs?
So I will answer this question. Tom, I know you emailed me before, and I apologize for not getting back to you. I will get in touch with you, and I know you have some computer skills. Maybe you could do some registration or something like that. But what we need is a list of people who want to volunteer, and I will always take that list. So if anybody that wants to volunteer for anything, send me at president at what is our email address? President at rmrporscheclub.com, something like that. And it's on the website, and we can get a list started. And actually, Tom, if you would like to be the coordinator, that would be good. We do not have a position for that, but it would be a nice position to have filled to help us, because we do have a lot of volunteer positions that we do need to keep track of.
Let me pipe in on that too, Vicki, if I may.
Sure.
From Autocross and the DE standpoint, there is always a need for volunteers, and many people get their start in their club activities by starting as volunteers. An example being at the club race, which takes place in September, we have a need for corner workers. And it takes quite a lot of corner workers to staff High Plains Raceway for the club race each year. Chris Sully, is who historically has gathered the corner workers and assigned them to various corners. If you were new to this effort, you would be paired with someone that had experience before, so you wouldn't be diving into the water all by yourself. You'd have someone who could coach you through the way and teach you how to use the flags for communications to drivers, how to use the radios for communication to control. The volunteers also get lunch each day, and for club race corner workers, they get a $50 stipend each day for club race. In addition, as I mentioned before, the DEs have need for a lot of different types of volunteers. We have an equipment committee, and those folks are responsible for setting up cones and getting the equipment out to the various locations like grid, the radios available for all of the staff, including CDIs and event chairs, and grid and corners to be able to communicate. And then tearing it down at the end of the day. That's one of the more challenging jobs, but it is an essential one. And we're always looking for people to help in the equipment committee area. Likewise for grid. At grid, you line up the cars before they go out for their run session during a DE at High Plains Raceway. So you will help them find the proper slots, move them into the proper positioning, and then help with releasing the cars when they go out for their run session. Again, that's a volunteer position, so you get a free lunch each day out there, and you get credits towards future events that you might want to sign up for. Other committees include the safety committee. We always have a safety person on duty for the event both days. Then we have in control. There are two people that are involved in control in the control trailer, handling all the communications and coordinating all the activities on the track. So control can always use help as well. The lead chair for the control committee is George Strimbu, and so that is a person that is a resource for you. In addition, the autocross activities require lots of volunteers too. At the autocrosses, there are various stations, and those stations are referred to as corners also. Right. They have flags and they have radios, and they are essential to the safe running of an autocross. So when a car goes off track and misses a gate, then they would be the ones that would raise the flag and call in on the radio that car 4 missed gate 6 and is therefore disqualified for that run. And often what we have at our autocrosses is a split where you have one group of people who are running their runs through the course and another group of people that are manning those corner stations. And then after their run sessions are done, then they switch, and then you get to come in and run your car through the course while others go out and man the stations that you had manned before. So from a DE and autocross perspective, there's a large need for volunteers, and we encourage that. I'd also encourage anybody that's interested in that to let Vicki or me know, and we'll be happy to put you in touch with the appropriate people by which you can then have a chance to get that experience. And like Brian Leary will say at the DE 101 class, one of the fun things about this is the opportunity to give back to the club. The club gives so much to each and every one of us. We have the saying, it's not just the cars, it's the people. And it's the people and the camaraderie that you heard as Dan was talking to both Matt and Brian. The camaraderie is astonishing. As Brian likes to say, you will make lifelong friends, like it or not. Thank you.
And actually, I can add to this, Tom, look in the chat section. There's quite a few people. Doug Bartlett has added a message, and Chris Sully has added the message in there. So look in there, and that can help you as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So Vicki, we've got a couple of questions starting to come in the chat now. So we have a question from Linda, who asked, when will registration open for Autocross School and the May DE?
You know, I don't know about the autocross school. That should, that's Christina Eorden that is running that, and it should be very, very soon is what Chris Sully is saying here. And I'm hoping to work with Tim Berg and get the DE up and running this weekend. I had to consult with Doug on how best to do the driving instructor questions for that, and I need to get that set up. So it should be very soon though. So be watching for an e-blast from Russ on those things.
Okay, another question we received from Scott. He had a question about the Yellowstone Tour. He asked any details or time frame available about what cancellation policies might look like, particularly with the uncertain COVID situation.
Holly would maybe be able to answer that better than I will. And she is on here somewhere. So Holly, if you can answer that.
Hi, Vicki. Yeah, so we are still putting together all the info for the Yellowstone Tour. We hope to open it up as early as possible. We think it's going to be similar to like a Treffin, that it's going to pretty much be sold out really quickly. We will try to keep cancellation as open as possible. We're also believing that we might be able to do it more internally on our side. But we do have contracts and language in our contracts to kind of help us protect the club's interest if we do have another COVID shutdown type thing. But on the RMR side, if things still go through and you can't, we probably have somebody on the waiting list in order to take your spot. So I don't really foresee any issues with being able to cancel people within inside the club.
Another question we received from Doug, also about tours. Would we still have the driving part of a tour even if the restaurant social element is not possible? And any chance of doing a cars and coffee type event?
So I'll take this. Yeah, I think we can plan on, if it's a situation where we can't get together in a restaurant or even a couple different restaurants, I think we can plan on just sack lunches and meeting in a park and that kind of thing. We're definitely open to any different variation that we might have to face, but we're also really optimistic that by the time we hit some of the summer months, meeting in a restaurant is not going to be a problem.
Any thoughts on a possible cars and coffee type event?
Well, so the cars and coffee, what we have been involved in that kind of ancillary through other entities that are running those around the region. So it's not really up to RMR. We don't really have an RMR cars and coffee per se. So again, I think that's going to come down to any kind of restrictions that are in place for large gatherings. I think we've all been to a couple of these cars and coffees that, you know, have drawn 500-600 people. So that is just that's gonna have to be played by ear, I believe.
Any other questions from anybody? Then I would like to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and I look forward to seeing everybody really soon sometime at either a track event or hopefully a social coming up, a tour. And thank you so much for joining us tonight.